You know, something really stands out on this 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 5, and it's well, for starters, it's got tow hooks in the front like a big old Chevrolet Silverado HD or Ford Bronco or one of them vehicles. But it's a Hyundai Ioniq 5. And it's the XRT model. So what in the world is Hyundai up to with this guy? It's fully electric and it's designed to take you a little further down the trail. So what do you think? Shall we look into it? I think we should, because I'm very curious about this vehicle. I like my Ioniq 5s, and this is a brand new version, the XRT. Come with me. Good golly, Miss Molly, look at this thing here. This is the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5. It's one of the first of their all-electric cars. And it's one of my favorites personally, because I just like it. I don't know, it's just one of those things. I just like this car. And Hyundai, being the crazy wild company they are, has decided to do an all-road / off-road version. Now, obviously, I don't think you're going to take this thing off-road in like boulder hunting or anything like that, but it does have more capability. They've done this a few ways, actually. It's got some much more aggressive tires, which you'll see in a minute. It has about real close to an inch more ground clearance than the standard Ioniq 5. And it has those tow hooks. I mean, that's the big thing, the tow hooks. But what it still has, compared with its brethren, is a wheelbase of 118.1 inches. It has two electric motors because it has Hyundai's HVAC, what's it called? I'll tell you in a minute. A very excellent all-wheel drive system that Hyundai has been perfecting over the years. So it has that, and it's got them tow hooks in the front, and it's just generally speaking a little better equipped to go off-road. Now, what is our horsepower put out by these two electric motors, one in the front and one in the back? A grand total of 320 horsepower. That's a courtesy of a 75 kilowatt motor in the front and 165, much stronger, kilowatt motor in the back. So you could say it's kind of rear-wheel drive based, if you desire to say that. The battery is 85 kilowatts, which is a little lower than a lot of cars these days. The figure I normally see is right around 100, but it's got plenty of pep at 320 horsepower. What it doesn't have is a huge amount of range. The XRT version has a range of about 260 miles, roughly. So it's not as a long range of car as others, but again, it is designed to be a little bit more versatile on trails, in snow, that kind of thing. It's H-Track I was trying to mention before, which is Hyundai's all-wheel drive system, which is a fine all-wheel drive system. I like that all-wheel drive system. And it seems to work really well in dry as well as in slippery conditions. So it adds a lot of versatility to this vehicle. Now, it doesn't look like it's a whole lot higher off the ground, and it's not. It's still got that battery that weighs, what does that battery weigh there? That battery weighs 1,052 pounds, and it's on the very bottom of the chassis, just like all electric vehicles are. So it gives it a little bit more road hugging without being excessively top heavy, although you will find that 1 inch of additional ground clearance or 1 inch of additional ride height does make a difference, very definitely. You can feel it. But overall, I haven't even talked about the styling. That's another thing I've always liked about the Ioniq 5. I think it's a beautiful little car. And it's got a surprising amount of room on the inside of it, considering its compact status. So, without further ado, let's take a look at the under the hood and see no engine at all. But there are other things that are of interest. Well, hello, Evie. There are no internal combustion engines here, but we do have a funky sort of compartment here. It's a lot more, it looks different. Hyundai's always look a little bit different than the other electrics in that it's sort of in its own way looks more like a conventional engine, because here's your coolant stuff over here, and here's your windshield wiper washer fluid right there. And here is battery access to your 12 volt, which is right there. Actually, this is your fuse box in here. But see, there's no air intake or nothing like that. There is a cooling system, which you have to have with lithium-ion batteries. And then there's all the plumbing that goes in cahoots with a air conditioning system that electrics have a little bit different requirements out of them. And here's our storage area, and someone has hastily tossed in the charging cord for your home use. Now look here, this is interesting. I believe that is what many would consider a Tesla linkage, so you can use Tesla chargers. But for those of us not using Tesla chargers under any circumstances, we have an adapter here to your more conventional, I forget what this is called, it has a name, but it's your more conventional non-Tesla type of connection. And this is an adapter you just pop right in. So there you go. And then you have this one here, which, holy cow, what does this one do? This is your super high. Wow, I wonder if I could use that with, This is clearly a high-speed unit. And this is your DC, and this is your AC right there. How about that? How can I use it? How can I use this to my advantage? I think I can plug that in. How do I do that? I'll figure that out. But fascinating. Every time you turn around, there's something interesting on this car. But there we have our underhood area. The hood is very light, by the way. Definitely aluminum, I would say. And like all electrics, it's a whole different shooting match than what you get with the other guys. And as I mentioned before, we have a much smaller motor driving the front wheels than we do driving the rear wheels, which would imply rear wheel drive bias. And all I can tell you is the car handles great, and 320 horsepower, it scoots along very nicely, even though it weighs nearly 5,000 pounds. So there you go. That is our hooded area. They just draw you back, these tow hooks. They bring you in. They engage you. They almost look like little pincers from a crab, if you are into pincers from crabs. Here's our more aggressive tire. You know, I made a mistake later in this video. I said I thought they were Goodyear tires. They're not. This particular model that I have came with Continental Cross Contact. Cross Contact what? It's Cross Contact AT something? I don't know. But it's a more aggressive tread, as you can tell. And the tire size is 235/60 R18 with big old 18-inch wheels here. And big old brakes, although, you know, you got your regenerative braking helping out your braking. So, but these look pretty aggressive, to be honest with you. I think these would be very good in general light snow and that sort of thing. But like I said, this is not a serious off-road vehicle. You don't want your Falcon Wild Peaks, although I think they make a Wild Peak you could absolutely put on this car that would be very similar to these Contis. Continental makes excellent tires, by the way. If you've not experienced a Continental tire, they're very good tires. We don't have a whole lot of bad tire manufacturers, to be honest, these days. There's a lot of good stuff out there. Now, here's the thing that's an electric vehicle thing that I've never really particularly liked at all. But it's our electronic door handles. You see? Look at that. It's more aerodynamic this way, right? Well, I don't think it makes much difference compared to this guy when it's folded out. Let's expand. Let's do this. It won't let me in the car. Where's my key? It's right here. Hang on. I'm conundering. There we go. Now we go. We open and we open. So, I mean, what do you think, guys? Do we need the electronic door handle assist? I don't think we do. Look at the architecture of this car, though. It's kind of fascinating because you can tell a lot of space has been allocated to the rear seat. And once you get into the interior, it is in fact really roomy. If you're regularly carrying passengers in that rear seat, you got a lot of access there. Look, it had enough with me and it's closing. I said, "The hell, shut up. You just shut up. Who are you? Who are you, Boots Tarkington?" I'm your friend, Ioniq5 XRT. So here we come around to the rear end, and look at the styling of this car. I really like it. I think it's very, very interesting. And naturally, you have to shoot around for it, but then there's our lift gate power operation. And here is our storage space. I will give you the storage space numbers on the bottom of this because I don't know what I just did with my cheat sheet. I probably left it on the ground somewhere. I'm missing part of my whole camera rig. I'm starting out real good on this Sunday. But underneath here, we have a few things. We have a tire mobility kit. Yes, that's right. You have absolutely no spare tire. And if you lift this up further, what's underneath here? There's a little bit of storage here. Not a whole lot, but some. And it's a fairly high load floor, which, like I always say, is both good and bad. It can actually help your back a little bit, but some people don't like it being this high if you have to hoist something into it. So I think it splits the difference pretty nicely. There is our 60-40, or maybe even looks like 70-30 folding forward rear seats so that you can expand your cargo area. We have a lovely, lovely little LED cargo light for your entertainment. And overall, the finishing is, I'd say, a grade above your standard compact car fare. It's a little bit better than that. And this car, incidentally, is the first electric that has been start to finish built in Georgia, if I remember right, at the new Hyundai mega plant. You know, the one that I think they were getting that thing all, I think they're getting parts of it finalized, and our American government, under its current occupants, like deported half of the Hyundai workers that came over to fire everything up and train people. So anyway, this particular car was built in Georgia, and except for a squeaking tailgate lift gate that I'm still trying to figure out why it's making this noise, it seems to be very well assembled, and it's quiet as a church mouse on the inside at speed. It's really nice. That's one of the things I've always liked about the Ioniq5 class, is they're very, very quiet. So anyway, that is a overview of this fabulous little car, and now I'm going to take you in the interior to show you some of the features, including some driving modes that are more suited towards, if I may say so, off-road excursions. Can I say that? No? Yes? Oh, okay. I can say that. Thank you. Moving on. Ah, yes. When we listen to the autumnal's sentiments, it should be autumnal, not autumn. Autumn sentiments. Well, they know what they're doing. Hi, how are you? We are now in the interior of our 2025 Ioniq5 Hyundai XTR, which stands for extra terrain always, something like that. But here we have our instrument cluster, which is unusual for a gas-powered car, but not unusual for an electric, which this is. Imagine that. So on the left side, we have a huge round thing that doesn't do much, except when you drive along, it tells you your speed in a digital manner. And then we have a bunch of things we can pick from on the inside. We have after charging, 24 miles. Yeah, actually, I tried to top this thing off, but it was taking too long. Sorry about this. I wish I could. What could I do about that? Let's see. I put my wallet there. Maybe that'll stop that. Hang on. Hang on. Yeah, there we are. There. No more hideous flashing. What that's doing is that's watching the driver determine if you're sleepy or into anything. There, that's good. It's a brand new wallet, by the way. That's why I'm so anxious to show it to you. There we go. Get rid of some of that flare. Boy, this is a difficult shooting situation. But anyway, I'm gonna wait a second. I wonder if I could do that, like hold that like that and like that. Can't quite get my. Isn't this fun? Don't you enjoy this? This is kind of behind the scenes. And to think I used to work in the film business, and I did. Oh boy, did I. Here we have a bunch of different settings that since the last reset was, wow. We've gone 4,654 miles since the last reset. Isn't that incredible? But here's our range guide. We have a minimum of 78 miles and we have a maximum of 109 miles. Oh, that's better right there. So that's very, very useful information. On the whole, they're saying roughly 91 miles of range. And this will tell you if you drive the car, it will give you your tire pressure. So that means it's not a direct send system. It is a wheel speed sensor thing that tells you what your pressure is. And this tells you what the distribution of power is to the four-wheel system. Now, like I said, the two-wheel drive version of this is a rear-wheel drive machine, and the larger of the two electric motors is in the back. The one up front is smaller. And our current trip is 0 because we ain't going nowhere. And after charging, we'll leave that there for now. But there you go. You have all kinds of information. This little band right here will tell you what you're doing. If you're using power or if you are charging using your braking system, which it's not a braking system, of course. It's a look at it this way. It's a reclamation, if you will. Because when you coast or put on the brakes, the regenerative braking system is activated, meaning that the electric motors switch into generators and put power back into the lithium-ion battery. 84 kilowatts battery, if I recall. And you can adjust that very nicely using these paddle shifters. You can actually adjust it, like if you can see right here, we are at level 1. And I can hit this and we're at level 0. And if you hold it long enough, it goes on to automatic, which is, well, I think that would pass for your general driving situation. And then the other paddle will take you in the other direction. It's not doing anything right now. It's just ignoring me. Can you blame it? There we go. Level 0, auto, level 1, 2, 3. Anyway. That's how this works. There's 1, 2, and 3, which you use with the other. And then iPedal. What the heck is iPedal? iPedal is golf cart mode, meaning that you don't have to use the brake pedal. You just use the gas pedal. And when you let up on the gas pedal, the brakes will come on. So, personally, not a favorite system of mine, to say the least. So we'll leave that on automatic. We have drive modes. Here's our drive mode right by your thumb right here, and we are currently on, there's normal, which I believe is the default. Every time you start the car, I think it goes there. Not sure about that, but eco is where I normally like to be because it gives me the impression that maybe you'll get more range out of it that way. I don't even know if that's true, but ready, that came from Toyota, I believe, was first to do that with their hybrids. That said, the car's ready. Want to drive? It's ready. And over here on the right side, again, we have a nice big display that tells you the range that you have left before you have to recharge. And it's saying you'll get a minimum of 78 miles. Now, I don't know what that means, that minimum, how they get that number. If it's when you're towing a trailer, which they don't recommend you do with this, or at least I don't. I think there might be a way for you to tow a trailer with it, but no. This is not a trailer towing vehicle, in my view. Even though it's an XTR and it's a terrain thing. Speaking of which, like I said, I just showed you the drive mode. What's this? Terrain mode. Why aren't we in focus better there? I don't know. Anyway, check it out. There's your terrain mode. And with this, you go to snow, mud, sand, and that's it. So you can pick your particular terrain. If you find yourself living in a shotgun shack, that can help you in those various situations to get unstuck. Now, like I said, this is not a true off-road vehicle. But it has an inch more ground clearance and much more aggressive tires. So it can get you further, but don't do nothing crazy with it, because it still doesn't have a whole lot of ground clearance. I think it's maybe 7 inches. And you have to just, use some common sense, people. That's the number one thing when you drive off-road in any vehicle. Common sense. Don't drive right over a great big rock right where your oil pan is, that kind of thing. Exercise knowledge of your car, where everything is on the underside of it, and apply that to your data as you're driving. So that way, I'm sure there's some kind of AIBS is what we call it, that will get you real good and stuck on some other vehicles. So you have that to look forward to. Far left, we have our rheostat for our lighting. This is turning our traction control off. You may want to do that in situations where you're stuck sometimes. This is our power-operated rear lift gate, and this is, what is that? Oh, that's to open the door to get to the charging. And like I said, this comes with like a Tesla-style charging port, but it comes with adapters too. So if you go to like a public charging area, say like Electrify America, one of those guys, you have an adapter, so that'll work. We'll see. I'm going to be using that soon. So, and here, look here, a parking brake. I didn't even know that was there. You pull that up. Now, if I push it down, what happens? Oh, press the brake pedal and release the parking brake. There we go. Look, I've done that. Now we're going to re-engage. There we are. Okay, these lights right here are real interesting because they do different things at different times. Sometimes they will actually display, if you have the car plugged in and charging, it'll kind of indicate, at least it seemed that it was doing that, your charging state, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Now, what else do we have here? Oh, we have some other functions. We have a compass. We have our assisted driving, i.e. our adaptive cruise control, after charging, and then we have all this after charging stuff, which you already know. Now, if I go here, let's say go here, and roll this up and down, this thumb thing, nothing happens. If I go here and roll it up and down, things happen, which you've already seen. And then if I go here and roll it up and down, nothing happens. So you see, you learn your ways. Incidentally, this part of the steering wheel is where we have our cruise control center, this is turned on off, our cruise control, and you have your accelerate, decelerate, pause, and resume. And down here is our steering. If you want it to do some self-steering, you push the button right there and it'll keep you between the lanes, I think. And here we have our following distance with our adaptive cruise control. Over on the other side, we have things like, oops, there goes my wallet. We have things like primarily radio control. Here's our volume. I'm going to crank up our autumn sentiments. This particular star, you can adjust yourself to indicate whatever you want. Not everything is available, but several different things are available to make that like a jiffy, go there in a hurry thing. Here's where we're going to talk to the car, which we all hate talking to the car, at least I do. And mode is, of course, for your, that goes through all your different stations and all that kind of thing. And, well, how come this won't go? Oh, wow. I was there, going back. It even went directly in. I have CarPlay activated on this thing right now. There we go, back to autumn sentiments. So, anyway, that's your radio control center. Now here's fun. Well, first of all, you got a very, very conventional style of windshield wiper operation. And how do we operate the rear windshield wiper? Just like that. And I'm glad this car has one, because some of these electrics that I've had that actually seem to have a kind of a fastback design, don't have a rear windshield wiper. I don't know why that is, but this one does have one. Well done, Hyundai. It's important. Oh, and I forgot the telephone in case you want to call somebody. That's right there. But here's fun. So that's fairly normal, our windshield wiper here. And here's our shifter. Look at that. Put your foot on the brake there. There's reverse. And there is our rear camera and our 360 camera. It is well equipped in the camera department. And then we go to neutral. And there's the front. Look at there. We're looking out the front. And go to drive. And we're looking out the front there. Isn't that something else? I do like these 360 cameras a lot. I think they're that's a very valuable bit of technology that has made its way to most cars now. You're seeing more and more of that. It's like ventilated seats. This particular car, I don't believe has those, but you're seeing more and more of that, which is, it's just become, this always starts this way. It's how anti-lock brakes got started. They were only available on some of your top-of-the-line exotic, well, not that exotic, luxury sports sedans, and later became trickle down, and soon it became standard across the line, and the government, I think, made it mandatory. So that's how that all happens. When the technology first arrives, it's much more costly, and it takes a lot more to install it into the vehicle. So it's only on the higher trim lines and that kind of thing. But as the technology gets simplified, they can reduce the cost, and bada bing, bada boom, you have your own system, if you will. We have a very nice, let me go to, I'm on my CarPlay right there, and this is telling us what a track is. Oh, I have a, shall I see who it is? No, not in front of you. But here is WISE, which is my favorite navigation system. Now, you can also use the map that comes with the car, and it is also excellent. Apparently, this vehicle has been to Hudson Yards in New York City. In Callicoon Center, where the hell is that? That sounds like a place I should go. But anyway, it's an excellent display overall. It is, of course, your landscape format instead of a portrait format, which I think is a very good way to go. And I prefer the landscape myself, but whatever floats your boat. Subaru loves the portrait, Volvo loves the portrait, and there are others that prefer the portrait mode. We go down here, and here is our climate control situation. This is our start-stop switch, by the way. Now, a lot of electrics, or at least some of the Volkswagens, don't really have a start-stop switch. Once you have the key fob and get in the car, it knows you're there, and so it activates everything. And by the way, if I go to setup here, let's go to setup and cluster. What are our variations? Cluster theme selection. I didn't even go there. Simple. Let's go to modern. Oh, that's modern, you see. And now we'll go to classic, which I think is what I had it on. Oh, look at there. I prefer this. Look at there. You got your analog speedometer. I like it. You can also link that to the drive mode. And for example, link to drive mode, and then I'll go to, let's see what happens if I go to sport. Sport. Woo! Look at there. Sporty. Now I'll go to my drive, which is, it looks pretty much classic to me. And then I go to eco, and it's green. But it's interesting because it's a variation of the theme of the classic theme. So I just wanted you to know that's the one big advantage we have to these flat screen instrument clusters, is they give you some variation about what you can do. And that's nice. So we all like that. That's a good thing. So we'll go back now. Go back, and is there anything else I want to show you right here? Anyway, we have all kinds of variations here. And drive mode, ooh. Brake mode is normal and sport. Sport braking provides braking optimized for comfortable driving is normal. Sport provides braking optimized for dynamic driving. In other words, if you're driving like a crazy person. And this is glowing red. This caliper here is it's about to blow up because it's because of your dynamic driving activities. And my drive mode, these are the selections you get. Steering is on sport, And basically that's it. Now it's funny that they're showing this front motor instead of the rear motor, because the rear motor, like I said, is much larger. But you have active sound design. Oh, this is what you'll see this when we're driving in the car, and but it provides electric car sounds for your enjoyment. I have it completely turned off now, but it just cracks me up to play with that, because you can make it much louder. You're much more Jetson oriented sort of thing. So anyway, let's go back. What do we go back to? Let's go back home and back to CarPlay. There we are. All right. So down here, what do we have? Well, we have climate control. And let me get that flare out of there for you. But this is pretty straightforward. You also have something really wild in this car, which I applaud them. In this line right here, we have basic controls to things. But look, a volume knob and a tuning knob for the radio. I mean, how great is that? I miss those things on cars that doesn't have it where you have to use the touchscreen. I like having nice tactile physical knobs to do that with. But anyway, your climate control is very straightforward. You can leave it on automatic. It can sync both sides if you'd like. Sync. And and then put it on auto. There we go. So it's now on 68, which is my jam. And then we have fan controls, and you can actually select the defroster and the lower heat for your lower extremities. Now I think this thing, I don't see it, but I thought this thing had, oh, here we go, we'll get there. I'm sorry, I knew this thing had heated seats. Of course it does. But anyway, we go down here into the darkness, and we have our USB-C port, and it tells you kind of what it's doing. You can get, that's weird. You can use it to both use it for your functions as far as CarPlay or stuff like that, although it works perfectly fine via Bluetooth. And the top one is just charging. I don't know. Figure it out when you get your car. I don't know exactly what they're telling me there. All right, then we have a 180 watt, 12 volt socket right there that is there for your use for some of your 12 volt accessories. Now we come up here, and look here. This is one of the most convenient and easy QI wireless chargers there is. You put her in there just like that, and it lights up, and look at there, it tells you where you're at charging wise. And where am I charging wise? I'm almost there. Look at that. I'm almost fully charged. Real close. But anyway, that's extraordinarily convenient to just plop your phone right down there. Here's your cup holders at the convenience. And what's really strange about this car is the console, which I'm going to show you in a minute, is not a console. It's just kind of it has some space in it, and you can slide it up and down, I believe. I'm not sure how hell, maybe you can't. I get confused by these things. You can roll it out of the way completely, which is real nice. And then underneath here, you have a strange little area where you have some stuff. Let's go down there. Let's climb down. And we have two USB-C ports at the ready. Well, that's nice. We can go for that. So you have plenty of connectability for your devices. Now here we have our heated seat for our driver and our passengers over here. We don't have cooling, but we have heating. But we also have a 2-stage heated steering wheel. That's really nice. And here's our cameras. Bink. Whee! Press the button to display the camera view, or press and hold to activate the parking assist system. Cool, huh? I love it. I love these cameras. I mean, they have a million uses. All right, now, what should we say about the seating? Well, first of all, you got tons and tons of headroom. This is a very roomy car for a compact. Our Domi lights, our little LEDs are right there. Easy to access and de-access. What's that one? Oh, that's that. Oh, that's that. Or you can do this. Well, look at there. You have two different. I don't understand. Anyway, we don't have a moonroof on this thing, which is sad. It's just darkness. It's autumnal darkness upstairs. So, you know, what are you going to do? I have a question. I have a question for myself. I'm looking at the Monroney here, and I'm saying, what type? What is our thing? First of all, this is a very special car. First model assembled at the new Hyundai Meta plant in Georgia. How about that? So this is some parts. Major source of parts, foreign parts contest is Korea and Hungary. U.S. and Canadian parts contest 29%, but it is fully assembled in Elabelle, Georgia, USA. The engine and the transmission. So this is a very American car with a few foreign parts, but not many. The interior. Now, what did I want to see here? Advanced technology, exterior, comfort and convenience. But anybody and heated? Yes, we know about that one. Trying to figure out what kind of what we have in terms of. Well, it looks like leather, but I don't think it is. I think it is a. We have 8 pounds of accessories, by the way. Let me see here. I can't tell you for sure. We do have. I'm looking for it. Well, anyway, it's made. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. I'll find out, but I'm pretty sure it is like Huntex or something like that. Some kind of a Hyundai synthetic that mimics leather, but it might be leather. You never know. You never know. You have pretty good side bolsters. They're not excessive, but you do have the XRT logo right there, and you have it over here, all over this car. They're telling you it's an XRT. It's not an ordinary Ioniq5. Here we have a nice, deep, can swallow even the largest tablet computers. Very generous glove box. We all love that. And like I say, it's very strange you don't have a conventional console, but it's good. I mean, it's all good. It's fine. All right, are we ready to go back in the back seat? The back seat's a treat. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you why. Now, as I mentioned earlier in a previous part of this, very large rear door. Oh, we're locked out. They have this car set up in an urban mode. Oops, sorry. The urban mode, there we go. And the door handle pops out because it's electronic. And the urban mode, look at the size of this door opening. It's very generous. If you have people that have difficulty getting in and out of a car, this is a real nice car. It's a cab. You could use this as a taxi. But it's, look, the headroom's just ridiculous. I'm 5'8", and I got, what, 3 inches up there or something? It's fantastic. I also have the front seat back quite a bit. I should turn this on here. I have the front seat back quite a bit, and yet look at all this room. Ample leg room, ample headroom, a heated seat, 2-stage heated seat. Huh? How about that? And let's see how far we go down. About 91%. And I don't think we have, oh yeah, we have one of those little, if you can see that, one of those little net thingies. And you can't really get a tablet in there unless it's a really small tablet. XRT. There you go. It's all there to tell you all about it. So we don't have a typical map light arrangement back here. We just have a central dome light. That's kind of a bummer because this is so comfortable back here. You got vents in your pillar, and you have 2, not 1, but 2 of USB-C ports, and the floor is almost completely flat. And then you got this little area here where you can put things that little aerial items right in there if you need a place to put them. Now, what I don't see a whole lot of is cup holders, but huzzah, let me lower this, the armrest, and there's 2 cup holders. And it's at a very nice high angle. It's good. Like I say, the back seat on this thing is impressive, and it would make a good cab, actually, because you can get, and you still have a decent amount of room back here. So all in all, this is one of the triumphs of the Ioniq 5 is the interior design is fantastic in terms of room. It's very, very impressive to me because it doesn't have that big a footprint. And now you can even take them skiing as far as it's not further away than about 260 miles. And the ski resort has chargers at the ready. That's the only bad thing about this car, is it just doesn't have a whole lot of range in this day of 2025 electric cars. But it's got so many other great features about it, and the interior is definitely one of them because it is very generous in the room department. And that's it for the interior of our Ioniq5 XRT. Hello, friend. Will you join me? So this is our Ioniq5 XRT, which is the off-road version. Believe it or not, there's an off-road version. I mean, who knew, right? Hey, let's go to media. Media. See, now I have to wait. Oh, our CarPlay is connected. That's nice. Let's charge. We have a nice charging area right there. Let's see. I have to do that, unfortunately. Shh, quiet. Okay, media. There we go. And there we go. Over there. And how about on a sailing ship? And let's give this a twist now. We're in drive. How much power do I have? I have 50%. The fleet company showed up with 39%, so I charged it in the house about 16 days, and we're up to 50% now. Boy, there is some rattle in the back of this thing. I've got to find out what that is, because it's really, what is the word? Annoying. So here we're off-roading. We have a little bit of ground clearance, but most importantly, we have our tow hooks. Let's see. That's as low as it goes. Okay. It's a very interesting thing with cars. I wonder if I can push this thing forward. Yeah, that's better. So many cars have very strange and limited amount of tiltage you can do. Can y'all hear that rattle back there? I'll figure out what that is and I'll put a stop to it. In fact, I'm going to do that right now. Hang on. Park. Pausey. I'm a person who hates rattles. Well, I tell you, I'm a person who hates rattles. I don't know if I got that one fixed or not. We'll see. Here we off-road again. XTR. Yep, no, I have not fixed that. Boy, that's annoying. Am I going to have to live with that? Well, there's not a whole lot of range on this car anyway, so I won't have to live for it. We'll live with it for long. I kid my lovely. I've always been a big fan of the Ioniq5, and this is just a new version. Has about an inch more ground clearance, as discussed, but most importantly has the tow hooks. And otherwise, it certainly drives like a regular. Oh, I'm down to 49%. I've already used 1% going down the driveway, you see. I'm one of these people that have not gotten over electrical anxiety because I never really know how much power I have to deal with things. You got to have that power to deal with things, you know. Whoa! Interesting. I don't know if it's me. Yeah, it's me. But I feel like this 1 inch of ground clearance actually makes the car feel taller and not as hugging the road type of vehicle as most electrics are, because they have that 1,000 pounds of battery on the bottom of them, or more depending on the size of your electric vehicle. But it does feel like it leans a little bit more. Maybe it's got to be my imagination. I'm still adjusting. There we go. I'm going to use some of the level 1 regenerative brake. I love this paddle regenerative braking stuff that so many electrics have. I think it's a lot of fun. Fun in that it helps to charge the battery back and helps to save your mechanical brakes. It's pretty great, really. Hey, do I have that thing on 71 degrees? I don't think so. That's not for me. I'm a 68 degree kind of guy. There we go. There we go. Okay, we're gonna give it the gun, Algernon. Watch that battery deplete. Woo! Nothing like an electric car for acceleration. You can't beat it. That's one area where they got all the ICE, internal combustion engine people, whooped. Yeah, 320 horsepower. Feels like it too. And this car weighs 4707. So with my 300-pound body, actually I weigh a little over half that. So you're looking at 5,000 pounds roughly when you're driving this car. And that's a lot for a compact car, but that's the electric way. And like I said, all that weight is low, even though this feels taller than the last Ioniq 5 I drove. I think the Ioniq 5 has always been one of my favorites, actually, of the electrics. I like it a lot. I think it's a fine, fine way to go. So we're down to 48%. This is called battery anxiety. Look at 48. Oh, 47. Oh my. Oh. It's telling me I have a range of 114 miles. It's nice that they make that in a nice prominent gauge there to let you know where you're at. And unfortunately, I don't have any high-speed charging electrical facilities anywhere near my house within, I would say, 20 miles. I got to go further than that to go get a full charge. And again, if you were to purchase this vehicle and get your own charger in your house, the highest voltage you're going to be able to do is 220. And that will leave you with checking, 7 hours to charge it from 10% to 90% or 20% to 100%, something like that. So you got to remember, if you have the lifestyle for it, that's the whole thing. Electric could be a real good choice for you because in theory, much less maintenance, but that's not really all that true. In theory, much more reliable. That's really hasn't been true. And I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about Hyundais in particular. I'm talking about the class of electric vehicles as a whole. They keep lobbing on all kinds of other electric things on it, and most of these things are things that can be, for lack of a better term, prove unreliable over time. Like electric, there's nothing more dangerous and stupid, in my opinion, than electric door handles. And you're going to see some major lawsuits against, I don't know, Tesla and other people because there is a manual override should you lose power to your doors to get out. But in some cases, it's not exactly intuitive. I'll check and see what this car has. It feels to me like there is a mechanical link in this system that will allow you to mechanically get out of the car if you need to. I think Hyundai thought of that long ago. And like the Lexus, one of the Lexus cars I drove not all that long ago had electric doors on it too, or power assist, I think is what most of these manufacturers call it. But if you kept pulling on the door handle, it would open manually. The manual mechanical would take over at that point. But you don't have to. You can just kind of pull it like this when the power's on, and the door will open. Why? Why not just have regular doors? There is no advantage to having a power power assisted door handle. I mean, seriously. And I mean, some of the Genesis models, which is of course the big brother to our Hyundai here, they have a power door system to open and close the door, help you open and close the doors. But I don't think there's an electrical problem if you lose your electricity. I still think you can open the door and get out easily. And you're going to see some changes with some of these cars, Tesla, that will get rid of that, I think, completely, because there's just no use for it. It's dumb. I'm a pretend police officer in an old, rusty state trooper car, lots of antennas on it. There we are. How about that? Off we go into the charging station. Will we get there before we run dry? I don't know. We're gonna try. Well, it says I have 83 miles. That should be more than enough, but I'm not a trusting person anymore. I was trusting at some point. I'm not trusting. Should I set my destination? Where should I? Oops, yeah, wait, I know where I'm going. Wait, hang on. No, let's not. Cancel. Stop. Thank you. All right, let's try this again. There we go. Okay.
Half a mile, keep right.
Keep right? Are you sure? Are you sure? See, I have the Australian who's directing me now, which I like. Well, that's interesting. I don't seem to have my media anymore. What the hell happened?
In 0.1 miles, keep right.
Maybe that's part of the soundtrack I'm supposed to have. There we go.
Right.
It is. Let's try this.
In half a mile, turn left.
No, we'll play that. That's good. Harbingers of Spring. There we go. So you really want me to go right, don't you? Well, okay, I will. No, you want me to go left.
Turn left.
There you go. That's where we should be going. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. Whee! Just because we have to go to the charging station because it takes days to charge this thing at my house because I don't have anything approaching anything more than 120 volt charging.
Turn left.
It doesn't mean the drive cannot be pleasant and beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Here we go. We're turning left. Okay.
Turn right.
Wow. Look at the sun. Ah! What drive mode are we in? What drive mode? Normal. I don't want to be in normal. I want to be in eco. That's what I want to be in. Because I'm stretching her out so I can, you know, charge. Charging is important. Charging is vital. I tell you, this is a nice, it's a nice riding vehicle. It is, as near as I can tell, I was looking over the specifications. There's very little difference between this and the regular Ioniq5, but it has the least range. Now, if you just have the front wheel drive version, you get more range because you don't have the expenditure of energy plus the drag associated with the, I think in that case it's the front wheel drive system and it's rear wheel, and I'm still confused. Read the bottom of the screen, I'll figure it out by then. But By the time I edit all this together, you will know. But I believe this is a rear-wheel drive when it's not the all-wheel drive system. Regardless, that's your maximum amount of range, but for some reason the XTR, or is it the XRT? Where is the thing? XRT. I always say XTR. Now, why is that? I always get that wrong. XRT. Thank you. That's why they put the logo everywhere, for stupid people like me who mispronounce it. But the XRT, due to its 1 inch of more ground clearance, its more aggressive tires, and its all-wheel drive system, ends up having the least amount of range on a one charge compared with the other Ioniq5 models. So there you go. And that's interesting stuff right there, because depending on your situation, if you want the all-wheel drive, the little extra ground clearance and everything else, you need to be in a situation where the range is not quite that critical. And 260 miles or so in perfect weather. When it's colder, I'm sure it's less than that. And that suits you, then you're fine, and you're just fine. But there's always a trade-off in life. Same thing. If you buy a vehicle that has a choice between front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive only and all-wheel drive version, the version with the larger drivetrain turning more wheels will get less fuel economy or less range on the electric. It's just, there's always a trade-off. And the best thing is when you don't have a choice. We only make this one version and it's all-wheel drive, so there you go. That I like, because that way people that don't think they could benefit from the all-wheel drive may be surprised. And the reduction in range and or fuel economy won't be a big problem for them. Okay. Traffic is getting heavy. Don't want to put you through the heavy traffic. So here we are at the charging station. Yes, so I made it. I had about 21% reserve left, so that was fine. And here we are charging. It's telling me that I've been charging for 8 minutes. I have about, where does it say? It says somewhere. Oh, yes, 28 minutes left. And as we come over here, you can see I'm only getting, this is supposed to be 350 kilowatts maximum from the charging, and I think this car can take 270 or something. But naturally, I'm getting 90.8 kilowatts, and that's it. So, I'm the only person here charged. Oh no, there's one other car behind me somewhere, or there was. No, they're gone. I think they're gone. Are they gone? No, there's one other car charging. So there's 2 cars in a six charging bay, and the best we can do is 90 kilowatts. Well, it's better than my house, that's for sure. But I now have 27 minutes left, 34%. That's to get to 80%, but I'm going to 100%. So I don't know how long it's going to take me. But there you go. That's the charging life with your electrics. So what do you guys get? I mean, leave comments down in the comment area on your public charging station experience, as far as if you're usually getting what they say that you're going to get, or if you get less than that, or even more. I'm not real sure that's possible, but it could be. So here's the summary off of the charger, and we went from 20% to 100%, and it cost me $45 here in Connecticut at a fast charging station. And they want you to stop at 80%, but you lose 20% if you do that. So, wow, what fresh heck is this? This is your electric motor. Oh, wait a minute, hang on there. Got a bunch of mud just attacked me. This is your electric motor to your rear drive system on our, God, there's so much dirt falling in my eyes. Hang on here. God, I can't have that. I have eye difficulties at the moment. Okay, where were we? Oh, yes. Here's our rear drive system, which is fully electric like the rest of the drive propulsion system on our Ioniq5 XRT. And it's fascinating how you can see all this. The motor itself is really way far aft of the wheels. The wheels are right here, and here is our suspension, where here's our lower control arm right here, and here's our upper control arm right here, and here's our coil spring right here, and our drive shaft is where's the panhard on? This is part of a lateral link, basically right along here, and then our shock absorber is over here. So there's our drive shaft right up in there, and it goes right in through here into our motor area. This is fascinating. I had no idea that all this wonderful electrical is so far aft. But there you go. It's probably part of the overall weight distribution of the car is better because of that. That's probably one of the reasons they did it that way, I would think. It looks like our shock absorber has, oh, wait a minute, sorry. What's going on here? There we are. It's a strut-like affair. I don't see anything hooked into it. I don't think there's an adjustment in terms of when you go to the sport mode. I don't think it does anything to the suspension. I don't see any wiring, and you need a wire for that. But wow, what an interesting setup this is in the back. Like I said, with the two-wheel drive version of the Ioniq5, you get a rear-wheel drive instead of a front-wheel drive system, and then the all-wheel drive system also has a front drive system, you see. So that's how that all works. And in usual electric fashion, we have a completely flat bottom, because there's no nasty gas tank running hoses and things like that, and exhaust system. You don't need any of that stuff. So you just have this nice flat area where that enormously heavy lithium-ion battery pack is situated, and that weighs, like I said, I believe 800 and something pounds on this car. I think that's right. It's a lot. They weigh a ton, those things, or half a ton anyway. And as you can see, we have the almost European protectors here for the lower part of the control arm in the rear. But this is a fascinating system. And you can also see, look at the stoutness of that bright orange cable. That is part of your electricity. And so it goes all the way back from the battery pack to the rear drive system. And all this is all tied together with Hyundai's H drive. What's it called? It says right there in front of me, H-Track, thank you. And that's what the overall is how the system works, is it's a constant computer communication between the front and rear wheels and the wheel speed sensors to put traction where you need it. To not only help keep you going if things get slippery, but it's also there to help maximize efficiency. Sometimes it's better, believe it or not, to have the front drive system working and not the rear sides. And it's, it's all circumstance dependent, and it's all over time they've developed algorithms that figure out what is the most optimal way to put the power to the ground and thus conserve your battery life and therefore increase your range between chargings. So there you go. As you can see on this side over here, where's the device? Here it is. Right here is another one of our links. Oops. Right there. Right there. And you have this looks like a little protective area that goes into the rear of the battery, and then the battery itself. I don't know what this particular material is here. It looks like some kind of a polymer plastic, but that's just to cover over the actual shielding, because these things, lithium-ion batteries have to really be protected, because if they puncture, they could go into a situation known as the thermal runaway deal, and it'll overheat and then catch on fire, and you don't want that with your lithium-ion batteries. So to make sure that doesn't happen, the batteries themselves are enclosed in very rigid cells, if you will, to make sure that doesn't happen. And it can take a fair amount of abuse before that will happen. And in a collision, it's designed so that it won't happen. So all these considerations have to be made when you're dealing with so much high voltage power and potential power that you have in your battery system. Now this battery is, I believe, 84 kilowatts, which is, most of the time you see about 100 for most fully electric vehicles, but being the fact that this is actually a compact, it doesn't need quite as much battery. But like I say, the XRT is the most limited range version of the Ioniq5, and it's because of that 1-inch increase in ground clearance and the more aggressive tires and a few little things that reduce the overall range just a bit. So that's, there's a trade-off for everything, like I said before. But anyway, that is our undercarriage, and as you can see, the additional ground clearance is not huge, but it helps. And more than anything else, we have this absolutely fascinating array of how the rear motor is actually located aft of the axle line. And there's another thing that's interesting while I'm here is this coil spring is really a huge thing. You could put it, this looks like come off an old Chevy pickup truck right here. This is a substantial dude. So, and like I say, this thing is just under 5,000 pounds, so it's hauling a lot of weight. That's one of the penalties of being an electric car and carrying all that battery power. So, what price our 2025 Hyundai Ioniq5 all-wheel drive XRT? Our base price, $55,400, and with carpeted floor mats and freight and handling, it's $57,085. Not a bad price. Not a lot of options? No options, because it's got everything in the package itself that you're going to need, and it's very, very nicely equipped overall. So what do we think? Well, it's a real, I've always liked the Ioniq5, and this has just got a little bit more ground clearance, a little more aggressive tires, those beautiful recovery hooks, and overall it drives great. You just need to keep it charged. And keep yourself charged till we see you next time.
Whatever the tube tells you, you dress like the tube, you eat like the tube, you raise your children like the tube, you even think like the tube. This is mass madness, you maniacs. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.